Like, what is the scares of these type of adventures? Like, okay, hiking is cool and all, but what are we up against? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's always a downside to it. Of course, we don't want to talk about that part, but let's be truthful.
Sierra gonna talk about it.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Near the equator, Tanzania is one of the best countries to visit in all Africa. From going on some of the world's best safaris to the tallest freestanding mountain in the world, Tanzania has so much to offer. Me and my buddy Ellis Van Jason spent 2 weeks exploring the wonders of Tanzania, and I can't wait to share this video with you. Now, to get to Tanzania, we flew into Kilimanjaro's airport and got picked up by our guides Eddie and Fahad with safari goats and started our Tanzania adventure. The first place we went was Lake Natron. Now, to get here, it was a long 5-hour drive on dirt roads with incredible landscapes. We saw giraffes, zebras, and wildebeest on the way there. When we arrived at Lake Natron, we paid a fee to the local tribe to enter the area, and then we headed to our lodge where we stayed in these tents in the bush. After we settled in, we headed down to the lake, and I was just absolutely blown away by the scenery here. Now, Lake Natron is known worldwide for being home to one of the largest flamingo populations. It's a salt lake and has been called the deadliest lake on Earth, mainly because not a lot of animals can survive in these salty waters, but the flamingos flourish as they are protected from most predators and feed on the algae in the water. It was just the most epic place with the flamingos flying and the surrounding scenery. At the end of the day, I experienced one of the best sunsets of my life. The clouds turned into this cotton candy color, and I got this insane shot of the wildebeest just walking around. I mean, this place is truly amazing. After Lake Natron, we decided we wanted to summit the volcano called Oldonyo Lengai. With a height just under 3,000 meters, it's known as the Mountain of God by the local tribes, and after climbing it, I totally get why it has that name. To begin the hike, we started at midnight. I honestly didn't know what I was getting myself into, but it ended up being one of the hardest hikes of my life. The climb was literally straight up the side of the volcano, and I was crawling on my hands and knees towards the end because it was so steep. But right around 6 a.m., we made it to the top, and the sun started to climb over the horizon, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. I was standing on the volcano's rim, and the crater was absolutely huge. It had this black bubbling lava inside, and it's said to be some of the coldest lava in the world.
Now, coldest? Well, who went up in there and felt it?
Right. Never heard lava being cold. That's different.
That's new.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Man, Africa, so beautiful.
Nah, it's really nice. It's really nice.
Like, they have all of these, you know, natural wonders and, you know, natural things that happen on the earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, man, just thinking about the calendar in South Africa and what is it called? The canyon.
The canyon, the falls.
And Pamalongo. Lanka. One of those, the guy's window, and it's just all of these just beautiful sights.
Yeah, 100%. Man, I like beginning. He drove 5 hours to get to the last location, the lake something, and instead of flying over, he drove it. I think it was perfect because you got to like witness all the animals and all the beautiful scenery. So that's a big bonus by itself.
Yes, man. The kids would love this because they are obsessed with animals.
Yeah,
and like some of the animals that we come across in these videos, you know. Africa has the big five, the little five, all those animals and things that we don't have here in the United States. And our kids literally know about probably all the animals in the world.
Yeah.
Honestly, because they have always been fascinated with these things. And the flamingos, like how they get their color. Like our children can literally tell you all of that stuff. The children would love this, man.
Nah, big facts, big facts. But let's get this cold volcano.
Yeah.
I wonder why it's cold.
Who ain't feel it?
I gotta bring this back just in case I missed some information.
I was standing on the volcano's rim, and the crater was absolutely huge. It had this black, bubbling lava inside, and it's said to be some of the coldest lava in the world. Now, not only was this crater amazing, but I was just blown away by the surrounding views. I could see the landscape extend forever as it was being kissed by the golden light of the sun. It's a view I'll never forget. The volcano was just so loud, you could hear the earth groaning, and it sounded like a thunderstorm. After resting for about 30 minutes, I got some strength and hiked along the volcano's rim to Ellis and his brother Saren. As I walked to the other side, I got one of my all-time favorite shots as I was standing on the volcano's rim overlooking the scenery below. It reminded me of the quote in Lion King where Mufasa says to Simba, "Everything the light touches is our kingdom." It was one of the most powerful views I've ever seen in my life. After I headed back to the other side of the volcano and Ellis was getting the craziest FPV shots down into the lava of the crater, and it was just this dark, bubbling mud, and it was such a spectacle to see. Our guide Elijah recommended that we headed back after spending about 2 hours on the top to avoid the midday sun. The trek was beautiful on the way down. When we reached our car, it was about noon, so it took us 12 hours in total. Even though it was one of the hardest physical challenges I've ever done, it was hands down one of my all-time favorite travel experiences. Now afterwards, we're going to head to Arusha. Now if you're flying into Kilimanjaro Airport, Arusha is the closest big city and it's just located about 20 minutes from the airport. I was really impressed with Arusha. It's this decent sized city that is super lush with fairly cool temperatures. There's a lot to do in and around the city. One really cool place near Arusha is the Napuru waterfall. It's situated in the Myrie forest and it's located about 30 minutes from central Arusha. Now the area up here is amazing. It's a lush rainforest full of giant trees and beautiful vegetation. To get down the waterfall, it's a relatively easy hike that only takes about 30 minutes. The trail is absolutely beautiful. I felt like I was walking into the Garden of Eden down there. The last part, you stroll through this stone gorge and then you reach the waterfall. I was just surprised how tall it was. When we were there, the current wasn't too strong, but the falls is much stronger during other parts of the year. Ellis sent his FPV drone into the waterfall and got some of the coolest slow motion shots flying through the water droplets. If you're in Arusha, I highly recommend coming here for a nice day trip. After, we're going to visit Mount Kilimanjaro. This may be the most iconic place in Tanzania and all Africa. Located in the northern part of the country, right next to the Kenya border, Kilimanjaro is the highest peak in Africa and is also the tallest freestanding mountain in the world with an elevation of 5,895 meters. What's great about Kilimanjaro is that you can hike it without any technical climbing gear, basically just walk to the top. The trek takes anywhere from 5 to 10 days depending on the route. The longer the trek, the higher chances you have to summit because it allows your body to acclimatize to the high altitude and low levels of oxygen. While we were there, we went to the park gates and hiked in the rainforest at the bottom. It was just so lush and beautiful inside there. Now as you scale up the mountain, the scenery changes into totally different climates. It goes from a lush rainforest to the heather and moorland zone, then the alpine desert, and as you reach the summit, it's the Arctic zone. I wasn't able to climb Kilimanjaro on this trip, but I plan to summit it when I come back.
I don't think y'all realize how much he just showed y'all in one clip.
A lot.
Snow, rainforest, Arctic zone. I mean, a volcano with cold lava. Like, are we witnessing this right now?
Yes.
Like, all in one clip.
Well,
that last clip was a bonus clip to this one, but all that in this clip was crazy. Yeah.
I'm liking it.
It would be an adventure of a lifetime. Another amazing mountain to climb in Tanzania is Mount Meru. It's the second tallest mountain in the country with a height of 4,562 meters. It's a dormant volcano and takes about 3 to 4 days to summit. Now many people might overlook Mount Meru, but if you want to experience less people and have a more affordable adventure compared to Kilimanjaro, Mount Meru is worth it. Now similar to Kilimanjaro, you're going to hike through different climate zones. The summit is just absolutely amazing up there. You get an amazing view of Kilimanjaro in the distance.
It's beautiful.
That mountain different though, look at that.
Look at it, scary, but it's beautiful. Okay, them views are top notch. That's why we have adventurous people like him to show us.
You're right.
Yeah, because everybody.
You're absolutely right.
Sierra don't do hikes like that.
Nah, I say hiking not a problem for me, but this one, a few of these.
That's advanced.
Yeah, I boy say the 12-hour one, I probably would have attempted. But the 10-day hiking, 3-day hiking, he got time on his hand. That's
time and patience, because baby, I want to go up and back down.
And a lot of snacks, cause
yes.
Easily one of the most underrated summits in all of Tanzania. Afterwards, we're going to visit the Usambara Mountains.
Ooh,
located about a 6 hours drive from Arusha, the Usambara Mountains are one of the most beautiful yet undiscovered places in Tanzania. My buddy Jackson Groves hiked over 80 kilometers through these mountains, starting from Lushoto and ending in Matai, and I'll link his video in the description below. If you want to explore the Usambara Mountains, you'll most likely start in the town of Lushoto, and if you decide to do a hike, you can hire a local guide to take you through the mountains.
Walking through all of that, first of all, the most thing that we deal with out here is poison ivy. If you get hit by poison ivy and you're allergic to it, especially if you're allergic to it, you're done. Just turn around. Cancel your trip. Right. Yeah, we need a tour guide for that because ain't no way.
Who is we? Because Sierra
we see
ain't
us
doing that.
Both of us. There's two and we. Or many more.
Baby, look.
You and I.
I could do drone. The drone will follow you.
I just do a live on my GoPro. Just go live on my GoPro. You put the earbud in.
Don't be signing me up for that.
Babe, turn around. I thought I seen something. Don't play with me, see. No, that's how you would be. You'd be like, babe, turn around. I thought I seen something behind you while you just walking past that little tree.
And snakes.
Yeah, man. Like, what is the scares of these type of adventures? Like, okay, hiking is cool and all, but what are we up against? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always a downside to it. Of course, we don't want to talk about that part, but let's be truthful.
Sierra gonna talk about it.
We got to talk about the uncomfortable stuff.
I need to stay down here. I don't need to fall off of nothing.
On your trek, you might run into local wildlife such as monkeys or the shy chameleon. The one place that has an incredible viewpoint near Lushoto is the Irente viewpoint. It offers a just spectacular view of the lush Usambara Mountains. Another scenic spot is near the town of Mambo, and it's called the Rild Viewpoint, and it just offers some phenomenal views of this special place in Tanzania. Afterwards, we're going to venture off of Tanzania's mainland to visit tropical Zanzibar. Located about 25 kilometers off of Tanzania's coast, Zanzibar is an archipelago made up of two main islands. If you love crystal clear waters, white sand beaches, and just tropical vibes, you'll really enjoy Zanzibar. Now, the best time to come here would be from June to October when it's outside the rainy season. When I imagine Tanzania, I certainly don't think of incredible beaches and tropical islands, but Zanzibar has it all. I wasn't able to see Zanzibar this trip, but when I come back, I want to give Zanzibar a visit. After, we're going to venture to Lake Manyara National Park. It's located about a 3-hour drive from Arusha. The national park is home to this huge lake that boasts all sorts of animals. One thing that I thought was really interesting about Lake Manyara is that it's home to tree climbing lions. We stayed just outside the park at this place called Migombani Campsite. It was this haven located high up in the valley, and it had this pool that had a phenomenal view of Lake Manyara. Afterwards, we're going to head to the Ngorongoro crater. When it comes to a combination of wildlife and natural beauty, Ngorongoro crater is one of the most impressive places in all of Tanzania. The crater is over 16 kilometers wide and is the biggest intact caldera in the world. Inside the crater,
he looked like he's where wildlife really lives their life.
Yeah, he's a
I'm
hiker.
talking about like they outside like look the hyena, man. See what I'm saying? Yeah. I wouldn't be walking nowhere near none of these big lakes and stuff. Like, but we thankful for him because he giving us everything we need in these clips right here. This is some nice stuff.
I'm more along the lines of history and culture and people.
The disconnect is happening right before your eyes. That's what that is. See, I'm not messing with none of that. Okay, see.
This different from me.
I heard that.
We like what we like.
I like this.
He do.
This is interesting, but it's just, I gotta see the understand. And if y'all hearing that, that is air freshener.
Yeah, air freshener.
There you go. Soak it in.
Basically every single safari animal from Arusha. It's about a 3-hour drive to Ngorongoro's gates. Once we were there, our guides paid the entrance fee and we headed into the conservation area. After the gate, there's no paved roads to keep the habitat wild for all the animals. We even saw an elephant just chilling on the side of the road. Now just 10 minutes from the gate is this lookout point. It offers one of the best elevated views of the entire crater. I mean, the area is just massive, and it's wild to think that this was once an active volcano. You can drive down to the crater, you descend about 600 meters to reach the floor, and you'll find all sorts of animals living there. It's truly a wonder. For our final destination, we're going to visit the Serengeti.
See, people who don't like hiking and, people who don't play around with heights. Had a place for us. Easy.
Yeah.
We can drive and just, the lookout
some nice
point.
locations we could just have some sightseeing going on.
Yeah,
It's
with
not
the
bad.
animals and things. Look at us. All right, now let's go to the Serengeti.
Let's get it.
National Park. When it comes to the African safari, the Serengeti is easily one of the best places in the world
That's
to see all of Africa's
happening
wildlife
right there.
in its
I'm not
glory.
walking that.
From millions of wildebeest running during the Great Migration to pride lions relaxing on the Rock Islands, the Serengeti is the Lion King in real life. To reach the Serengeti, there's a few ways you can go about it. You can make the 6-hour drive from Arusha, which is what we did, or you can also fly into the Serenera airstrip. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the Serengeti wasn't cheap. Every day it costs a good chunk of money to be in there, but it's 100% worth it. As for lodging, if you're on a budget, you can stay in a tented campsite, and on the luxury end, there's a ton of options. We stayed at the Four Seasons for a couple nights, and I have to say it's one of the coolest places I've ever stayed. It's situated in this just green wonderland full of trees and so many animals. When you arrive to the lodge, you'll enter the gates, and then you'll be greeted by a Maasai warrior who escorts you to your room. He was telling us how sometimes animals will jump up on the boardwalk, which I thought was so cool. Now the room was absolutely amazing, and from the deck I could see animals such as zebras, Cape buffalo, and impalas. I think the highlight of the Four Seasons is its pool area. There's this water hole in front of the pool that attracts the wildlife. I remember seeing this picture of people in the pool with elephants in the background, and that's what made me want to come here. Now, since it was the rainy season, a lot of the animals didn't need the water as much, but during the dry season, I guess tons of animals come to the water hole to get a drink. Overall, what I loved about the Four Seasons was just how integrated it was with nature. Whether you were walking to your room or just relaxing on your deck, you were bound to see some animals. So if you're looking for a place to stay, I definitely recommend the Four Seasons. Now, one activity you should consider doing is taking a hot air balloon safari. We went with Serengeti Balloon Safari, and we woke up at 4 a.m. and drove to our launching site. They were filling up the balloon with hot air, and I just couldn't believe how big it was. They told me it's the third biggest hot air balloon model in the world. Now, to get in the hot air balloon, the basket is laying flat on the ground and you jump in. As the balloon fills up with air, the basket slowly rotates to the upright position. In total, it held 60 passengers, so it was really huge. Once you're in the air, it's the weirdest feeling because it's absolutely silent up there, except for the sound of the fire heating up the air. It was the coolest thing, just looking for animals on the savannah. We saw some hippos and lots of other wildlife. At the very end of our tour, we got pretty high up and could see an incredible 360 view of the Serengeti. After we descended...
You would have puked up there?
No, I don't think I would, because I want to do that. You know? I do. I may have to jump out the airplane before I do it. You know,
I feel that. I mean, yeah, that's a connection with that type of experience. I feel you. I feel you.
But I want to do, like, that's on my bucket list. I'm not scary.
I feel you. Okay.
Okay.
It's for the people in the back. Okay.
And we landed in the middle of the savannah. We celebrated with some champagne or mango juice with the captain, and then we had a luxury full English breakfast in the bush. I mean, honestly, it was an amazing experience, and if you can, I highly recommend doing it while you're in the Serengeti. Now, my all-time favorite thing to do in the Serengeti was going on game drives. Every day we'd wake up and be out from sunrise to sunset, witnessing so many incredible moments. One thing that I thought was so interesting about the Serengeti was that it had different areas with certain types of landscapes and wildlife. For example, there's this one place that had short green grass with termite mounds, and that's where we saw a majority of the cheetahs. There was also these vast plains, and that's where the millions of wildebeest and zebras were. One of my favorite features of the Serengeti was the kopies. There were these stone islands, and there was almost always lions on them. Just imagine Pride Rock from The Lion King, but this was real life. Now, one of my favorite experiences was just watching these two lionesses play near a copia during sunset. They had a bunch of cubs who were hiding on top. It was truly magical just watching them frolic and play in the grass. Now, since we were there during the rainy season, we had these massive thunderstorms almost every day. They make for some of the most epic scenery, but it's also a little terrifying when it starts to rain and you're deep in the bush and have to try to not get stuck on the muddy roads. One time we went to see this lion that was chilling on top of a tree, and there was this massive thunderstorm that was coming in. We underestimated how bad the storm was and almost got stuck and
Listen, I thought weather was just weather, like in the sky. You know, we all get the same thunderstorms and all that. And for reference, we are from Louisiana, so we deal with a lot of hurricanes. But listening to the sound of thunder And Africa on the video was very scary. Okay? And seeing how big those clouds is, baby, that's another level.
Nah, that is. I would love to that experience alone. I would love to have that experience. Because it's coming. Like, you see, like, I remember, like, when I was younger, you would see the rain coming down the street. Imagine seeing that out there.
Is it our time?
You know, it's like, that's a different experience. You know what I'm saying? It does something to you. So I would love that. That would be dope. That would be dope.
To spend the night in the bush. Our guide Eddie is the best driver in all of Tanzania, and he got us out safely. As we were driving back to the Four Seasons, we escaped the thunderstorm and found ourselves experiencing the craziest sunset of the trip. There was this fireball in the sky with huge just lightning bolts just striking the Serengeti. And to make it even better, there was a herd of zebras just grazing in front of it. I mean, I seriously can't believe those conditions we got. It was the perfect way to end our time at the Serengeti. Well, that is it for my Tanzania Top 10.
Man, look, if y'all ever thought that life didn't have no more to offer, blank a few more times and look at this vid. This is a crazy one. That was some perfect sceneries. I love the location. It was a couple retreat little spot they was talking about.
Four Seasons.
The Four Seasons was so nice. That was a dope one.
Africa is so beautiful. 10
out of 10. Whole video was fire. Whole video was fire.
Seriously, other than hiking.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, like, so do you kind of like take hiking off your bucket, like not take it off your bucket list, but put it on your bucket list more? I mean, those rocks was different, but some locations are dope.
I'm gonna ride an airplane.
See you when you get down.
We like what we like. Dion like the hiking. I don't. I'm not an adrenaline junkie like that. Let's do a cooking class.
Oh, wow.
Show me how to sew something. Show me something traditional. That's me.
Nothing wrong with that. Like I said earlier, the disconnect was happening. What you were talking about, history and the wildlife.
Yeah, when we plan our trips, we do a little bit of something for Dion, for me, a little bit of something for each of our children, even our toddler. And when we do take our dog, we even go to doggy beaches.
Sometimes there's too many dogs out there for one dog to comprehend, but
talk about it.
Yeah, she understands what's going on.
Yeah, so it's always balance with the family. So if Dion want to do a hiking, hopefully he considers me a little bit and not do the tallest one, the most scariest one. But if he want to do one, we'll do it. What's the best beginner friendly? Because he was advanced.
Nah, he was crazy with it. 10 days.
Yes, this was cool. I loved it.
That's it.
I loved it. Tanzania is beautiful. All right. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request form is in our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.